I feel like discernment is like it's an art. Discernment is one of I feel like discernment is one of those things like that's an art. Like you need to be able to sit back and be like, wait a minute, this person isn't being weird. I just don't reciprocate their feelings, and that's
Right.
perfectly fine.
The
Or
same thing
I think
goes
it's
for
my bad.
I'm sorry, I
No, you
just
cool.
feel like the same thing goes for the term narcissist. Like everyone,
Yes.
suddenly everybody's a narcissist. Just because you get in an argument with your significant other does not mean they're a diagnosed narcissist. Just
Doesn't mean
because
they're
your
an
parents were
abuser.
kind of shitty does not mean they're a diagnosed narcissist. Not everybody is a narcissist because that's an actual disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. That's a real thing, and you taking the legitimacy away from that, labeling everybody who you have a disagreement with or don't like a
So good.
narcissist. It, like I already said, it takes away how serious it is.
Yeah, but back to Rock's point about like all of a sudden
Yeah.
everybody's a creep. I find it funny because like I
Nine
always
out of
I
10.
always think back to that I always think back to that one TikTok or whatever. So she made some type of TikTok or some shit where basically she was chilling in the library, right?
Oh, you talking
Yeah,
about this?
Yeah.
That shit was so mean.
Yeah, he like literally left her a note saying, "I like you. Here's my Instagram." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, she's such a fucking creep. He was watching me this entire time. Like, you can't be safe out here anymore." And she's like, "Bitch, what the
And it's
fuck?"
like, well,
I feel
yes, yes, he did look at you and did think you were cute, but he wasn't stalking you.
I feel like she was probably kind of feeding into her own anxious scenarios. Like you kind of got. I think I think she could have just left the environment,
feel
sat
uncomfortable,
with
and
him.
not like put that shit on blast. Like,
yeah.
oh, this is the guy's Instagram. Let me crumble this shit up and throw it in the trash. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, she should have She should have gone somewhere else to a different environment and sat with herself and thought, okay, do I need to do this?
9.2.
People are so quick to jump the gun. You don't
9.2.
think critical thinking is lost
pass
nowadays.
Yeah, 9.2, 9.2. No, I agree completely. But I do think back to what's it called. Like that was what's it called. Like when I think that TikTok was not a pivotal moment for me, but that was when I was really sitting down. I was thinking, yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel like we need to like I don't mean to be in any position to victim blame anybody for anything, but I'm like that's what I'm like. No, we need to sit back and actually like think. Wait a minute. I can be uncomfortable about something, but that doesn't mean that this person's like an abuser, a predator, a narcissist. It's like it's just like Cassandra said and whatnot.
Regular sweet tea.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
The raspberry tea, I give it
I give it 9.2.
9.5 for me.
Oh, I give that maybe a 6.9. That was sweet. I'm low-key starting to get a headache.
I love
I'll put
raspberry.
128% daily sugar value.
No, the raspberry is really sweet. Wait, Marcus, how much did you say the sugar content of the raspberry was? Was that 136% of your sugar intake?
Yes.
Okay, and you said the sweet tea was how much?
128.
But when the raspberry tea is more sugar intake than the sweet tea, that's a problem. But also, I mean, the sweet tea isn't. I remember who tried. I think it was either Riley or Leighton tried this, or David, and they were like, "Oh, that's really sweet," and I was like, "Yeah, but like it's not like super duper." But then I had sweet teas that aren't that sweet, but like you know what I'm saying? Like when you have a sweet tea that's like, "Oh, this is a calm sweet," like it's not giving insulin shot. But we'll see with this one. But wait, Cassandra, you say something where I saying something before?
You were.
Oh, I think I was just saying the whole thing, but like, no, yeah, like like your one friend, like your friend isn't a narcissist. I don't know, they talked out of turn, they yelled at you one time. Just let them apologize and whatnot, and move forth and whatnot. That's a whole other topic about like community this and third. None of us are perfect. What's it called? Like I don't know. Like, I could have an off day. I might yell at Marcus and whatnot. He might be like, "Dude, like come on now," and I'll be like, "You know what? That's real. Like my bad. Like I don't like you honestly, like we need to bring back the art of isolated incidents. Sometimes, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes this person isn't abusing you. They just I don't know. Like
not everything has a pattern, y'all.
That like it's like
there is no trail of breadcrumbs for you to follow. Sorry.
No, you're so right because it's really like oh no, this person isn't abusing me. I don't know. Cassandra just yelled at me one time. It's just like and then she checked, and then she apologized, and we're not gonna think about it tomorrow because it's not like this isn't like a pattern. Like like we're in our 20s. You gotta I feel like especially like
our frontal lobes are still not developed. Like it's
not till like 25, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 25.
So yours isn't, mine isn't, yours isn't.
But I've been feeling this way since before 20.
Yeah, you're right around the corner.
Around the corner. I want to crack. Can I crack a window?
Oh no, yeah, that.
It's more than a crack, but it's okay because I need to feel the air.
After this, I gotta get out and pee.
Oh, I'm good. I'm already bloated.
You can't. Okay, gotcha.
This is the regular sweet.
Yeah, this is the. Oh, yeah, this is the sweet. But no, yeah, and it's like, come on, guys, like not everybody, like I always say, I literally always say that whenever we get together, I just don't like people like when you throw around those words. You need to be real. Like if you want to call somebody a predator, call them a predator. I'm not saying you need to prove a whole case, but I'm saying like when you want to throw around these things and say these things and whatnot, like you need to realize that it has weight. That's why I'm like discernment is a very important thing because not everybody is this evil person that
Right.
some people here there want to make out and whatnot. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes some people are trying to make you out as evil because it benefits them, or just because like they don't care to take that like 5 extra seconds to be like, wait a minute, we got like, oh, this, like, I don't know, me and this person just didn't mesh well at this party and whatnot. But they're not like an abuser, and they're not going around calling women bitches, this, that, and the third and whatnot. And I'm not one to like stand here and defend men. I'm just trying to defend like people in general that like there are actual abusers, predators, rapists, murderers. Every evil you can think of is actually out there and whatnot. Which is why I'm very like, yeah, let's not throw around certain terms because it lessens the impact of like when it actually does happen and whatnot. Like people are actually stalked and harassed and made uncomfortable on like a constant pattern and whatnot. So yeah, you shouldn't, someone shouldn't leave a note for you saying like, oh, I just think you're pretty. Here's my Instagram. If you want to like contact me, but if you don't, totally fine. Let's not go and make a TikTok about that person. And be like, this person's a creep and that's so creepy. It's like, no,
Right.
that's actually very
Like
normal.
that was your first thought process instead of sitting with yourself and thinking, how do I react to this?
Yeah, like
Making a TikTok. Also, not everyone is out to fucking get you. Not everybody's out to fucking get you. People are so eager to spin a yarn and say, oh my god, this happened to me, and then blah blah blah. First of all, why are you trying to make trauma the most exciting part about yourself? Second, people are so eager to be the main character
this shit
nowadays.
is so good. Listen, 8.9.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot.
My bad. You were
People are so eager to be a character.
Oh yeah, people
The main character.
like you don't have to be a main character
shit. I want to be a
all the
side
time.
character.
This might be kind of niche, but it also goes back to just be constantly being on the internet and needing something to happen. And why is it that you want to make horrible, horrendous, traumatizing things happen to you? With that being said, I need to pee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, we got 3 more.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, my bladder cannot handle 3 more.
Do you want us to wait for you? We can keep talking. I mean, we'll keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking, but
Yeah.
you mind waiting for me?
No, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I will say this is also like why a lot of
Thank you.
I feel like more and more men are becoming afraid of women now too, because for this very reason. Not because they think that like a woman's gonna do anything to them physically per se, although there are women like that and y'all are fucked up. But also just the fact that
Real
they'll
quick.
try to slander them.
Just for clarification, so no one in any comments says some bullshit on Casey. Anyone regardless of gender can do a fuck thing to anybody. I just want to,
Yes.
because you know how some people are when you start saying that women can be abusers, and they're like, why are you like, no, like anyone can be like, don't misconstrue anything.
If somebody violent enough finds somebody weak enough, that'll kind of just let you walk all over them. It does happen, unfortunately. But yeah, but back to my point. I feel like that's why a lot of like men are a lot more wary of women than they used to be. And at first, it was like at a point where it's like, okay, cool, to use discernment, to like, approach like as respectfully as possible. But But now it's like, oh no, I like this girl. I think that she's cute, but the last thing I'm gonna do is approach her, which is, and then girls have the audacity to complain that like, oh, why are no cute boys coming for me? Like, bitch, because they're scared that you're going to report them for approaching you.
And Casey's not saying all women. Casey's not saying all
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously not all women.
No, yeah, it is obvious, but
But yeah, no, I feel like we're just at a point where it's like now there's a role reversal, like where a woman does have to do all of the approaching, the flirting, and all of that, and which is, I mean, fine if you're into it, but if you're not, then it's just like, what are you gonna do? I don't know.
No, I feel you. I feel you completely and whatnot. I swear, for me, it always comes back to discernment. It's all discernment.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, Lord knows I'm not perfect at that. What was I gonna say? No, yeah, just people, just like, don't throw that shit. Like, like, let's not call everybody a predator. There are a lot of bad people out there. There are a lot of bad people.
Yes.
Let's not call good people that accidentally do bad things, or people that do things that we don't understand in the moment, let's not like go ahead and call them abusers and predators. And whatnot. I'm like, I'm not saying everyone in the world's doing that. I'm just making it like making it a notion that like you do. I feel like you can see a lot of that, like especially on the internet and whatnot. And people that make friend groups, people like when you go outside and it's very much like this person isn't a predator. You guys just don't like each other for X reason and whatnot.
And honestly, I feel like even the way that you are like wording things and like creating disclaimers, like, oh, not all people, or like, everyone's capable of doing X, Y, Z. The fact that we even have to make these disclaimers just lets us know how sensitive society has become. Because it should be a no-brainer, the things that we are saying. You should be able to say that and be like, oh, but she doesn't mean all people. Or, you should also be able to, shit. I'm losing it.
My bad.
No, you're right. You should also be able to have enough knowledge to know, like, yes, both men and women could be terrible fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is no superiority in that. Like, y'all could both do fucked up shit. And feel
non-binary people.
Exactly.
Spectrum.
Literally, like, it doesn't matter if you're a he, she, they, them. Like, it doesn't matter. You're all capable of fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm. We all make mistakes. That does not make all of us predators.
Yeah.
Predation is serious. That's a serious claim and whatnot. What was I gonna say? Oh, this was a fun one. I had peeped and whatnot. What's it called? I feel like what's it called? A lot of times I see a lot on TikTok, especially and whatnot. Like definitely TikTok and probably through YouTube videos and whatnot. Monoracial or monoethnic, monoethnic. Like friend groups, people that are friends, groups of friends and whatnot. A lot of times, like people that strictly date within their race and ethnic group, people that befriend strictly within their race and ethnic group, whether they want to openly state that or not, which I know,
understand that part.
What's it called? I wanted to get the ball going with that convo because honestly, we see a lot like, what's it? Let me try to get my words together. Honestly, I see a lot of like just mono-racial and mono-ethnic like friend groups and stuff like that, where it seems like people generally just stick with their color, their creed, this, that, and the third, and whatnot. And honestly, I could speak to that by saying even when we were at Rutgers, I would definitely see a lot of the black folk being with the black folk when they out, Latinos being with Latinos, Hispanic people being with Hispanic people and whatnot, Southeast Asians being with Southeast Asians and whatnot. A lot of times you would see the white and the white and the Asian friend group mixing and whatnot because that's not that those aren't my colors, so I don't want to get into the AT and whatnot. But I wanted to get the ball rolling on that and whatnot because honestly, I have an unpopular opinion about it all and whatnot because I know how people get when you bring up race. I feel like people shouldn't just befriend and date and build community in their race and in their ethnic group. I mean that for like all colors, but I will say this. I will say that this is a generalization I will make. I think assuming a white person that has all white friends and an all white community, assuming that they
that's so
are
long. I have to use a men's room. Fuck.
Real. I think assuming that they might be somewhat prejudiced, if not racist, I don't think that's an unfair assumption. I will just say, in my experience, a lot of white people that only are around white people, I feel like I gotta look at that and be like, hey, but why don't you got no black friends? Or why don't you got no friends of color and whatnot? But honestly, I've asked several people that over the years and whatnot, where I'm like, wait a minute, am I your only black friend? Because I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm gonna make that claim. I think it's a tad odd to be whatever color and only hang with yours. And especially, I'll say this. Especially when you hang out with every color under the sun except black, because a lot of people, at least I've seen it from being around, people don't be having no black friends, and you meet them and it's like, wait, I'm your own. Like, why don't you hang out with? Like, this is weird. But
I will say the other way around is weird too, where the one person is purposely only befriending like a certain, like, kind of like seeing like that one white guy
with
who
the all Asian friend group.
No, either all Asian or all black, and they try so hard to like assimilate to their culture.
Oh,
and it's just kind of like one of those is like, do you hate yourself? Like, no offense, but like, I'm just genuinely curious as to why you are only gravitating towards this exact set of people.
Real, you're real.
Yeah,
you're real as hell. That's not a crazy thing to say. Yeah. Oh, Cassandra, I was bringing up how I feel like people who only hang out with their race or their ethnic group, I just think that that's somewhat odd. I think it's like a form of what's it called? There's a word for it, like
exclusion.
yeah, but there's like another word for it when it's like you only hang out with your race. It's like it's a little too homogenous for me. What were you gonna say?
Separatists?
Maybe that. Yeah, like that's it's yeah.
I don't think it's that bad because naturally in human nature dictates that you're going to gravitate towards people who look like you, who think like you. But if you don't make the effort to branch out and talk to people with different viewpoints, people who look different from you, to me that's the strange thing. My college was so cliquey. People only got with people who looked like them, people from the same country, people from the same socioeconomic background. So that definitely that definitely leaves a lot of exclusion going on. I'm not shocked when people only have like all, especially when it comes to the 8.5 by 11 folk. When the palm coloreds only have
friends. They be having all white friends.
yeah, when the palm color folk only have all white friends, like okay, that's
Like, you don't get along with nobody else,
right. That's kind of like to me. To me, that's kind of like white culture prevailing, like white supremacist culture prevailing. Like, so nobody else looked interesting. You wanted to be around people who look like you only, who sound like you only, have the same thought processes as you only. That's a little strange. Like no effort could be made when it comes to different people of color. It's definitely like probably a little bit more exclusionary, but I feel like people of color, like even though I just say people of color because I don't feel like listing up every single freaking ethnic, like everybody who is not white. I feel like a lot of cultures intersect, so it's easier for people of color to make friends with other ethnic groups and have very diverse, multicultural, friend groups, like kind of like ours. White folks though, I think I definitely, like, everyone has bias. I definitely have a bias against white folks. Just because I'm so sick of their bullshit.
Joe's tea, half and half, baby.
You might want to shake that up.
No, yeah, I agree. A good example that comes to my mind. I've been around. Well, obviously because we're black. I've been around. Oh my bad.
Daily sugar value.
Oh yeah, we gotta shake the shit out of that.
Oh, and look at what's happening right now. This is the white folks' fault.
That part.
Anyway.
No, yeah, obviously because we're black, like obviously over like literally all my life, I've been around so many like brown people and whatnot. Those are my sisters, those are my cousins. Black and brown, you gotta really stick together and whatnot. That's a whole nother conversation. Anyways, I was gonna say at least I will say this. I can talk from experience and whatnot that a lot of I'm not going to generalize and say that all brown people only fuck with brown people because obviously that's just not true. What I will say is I've had several experiences where I've had like that where you make I don't know, you get a close friend, this and the third, and you realize that a lot of times some of my brown girls, they I'll say how it appears. I won't make a claim, but I'll say how it appears. A lot of times it appears like that they have the potential for a black friend to be in their auxiliary circle and only that, but like the close girls that are meeting the family and coming into their life, into their circle on some like you get to see all my walls and come inside me, like come inside them, wrong words, ignore that. End up being the other brown girls, and I mean brown in all like capacity. Long time ago, I will say this and whatnot. We have a friend. They used to date this dude. He ended up being a big liar, but that's outside of his race completely. Anyways, this man, he was a brown Mexican man. Long story short, I remember there was a falling out. He ended up saying some weird shiz to them relatively about me, but about like I guess black people in general, because it's always something weird like that. He said to our friend when they broke up, one of the final times that they were together and whatnot, that this is why I only hang out with other Mexicans, and that didn't really stick with me. But I just remember that because I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy, like to say and think out loud that like I don't know, like you only want to hang out with like a part of me is like I can get wanting to be around your people, yeah, but also like imagine how many years you spend on the planet and going outside, and you really can't find community in people that don't look like you. I feel like that's it for me, where it's like it does give that separatist like homogenous like almost reminds me of Aryanism, but it's different because when you're not white, it is different. It's different. Like you want to be with your people. You want to not feel like you're gonna get hate crime. Yeah, I get that, but it's like, damn, like you don't like it really is that like when you look at your friend, like, wait a minute, you're like, am I your only black friend? You don't hang around like you don't hang around any black people. You don't hang around like it's just
It's giving token. It's giving
Yes,
meal ticket. It's giving N-word pass.
by gag.
I don't like that.
I feel like on one hand, I understand the fact that you are going to be more gravitated towards and more comfortable with people who look like you and people who you could share similarities in culture with. But at the same time, I do feel like if there's nothing but the people who are the same race or the same ethnic background as you, it's very intentional. And I feel like it's bad because I feel like you kind of end up having your own. I don't know. I feel like
Biases.
negative biases comes towards anybody who doesn't look like you, and it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Mexican, Asian, like anywhere. Honestly, I feel like if you only know people who are the same race or ethnic background as you, it's intentional, and that means that you have something negative towards those who are not.
Oh my god, you summed it up so right. Oh my god, I think that's what I was saying and whatnot. Like,
It all goes back to making an effort. You are clearly not trying hard enough because all the ways that you exclude yourself, there are so many little microcosms. Excuse me. There are so many little microcosms where if you literally just merge, you will find so many similarities within yourselves, and people really need to start embracing differences.
3.2 out of 10.
Well, that's half and half. I like that a lot. I would give that a 9.
Wait, oh, it's lemonade and lemon tea.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that a lot.
3.2. I was gonna say no. I really feel what Casey said, especially where it's like at some point I'm like, wait a minute, you're like, you're 22 years old, you live in New Jersey. Whether you grew up in North or South, you went to a college where it is a melting pot, and this country is a melting pot.
Like you're telling me you went to Rutgers and you only have friends that are
of one color.
Yeah, that are your same race.
Like I think it's like what Casey said. It's like this is intentional. Like it's like that's why I bring up like, why don't you like, how do you not have any black friends? I always bring up black because I'll say this. I specifically always think black and bring up black, obviously because I am black, but because anti-black rhetoric is ingrained in this country's history and ingrained in so many other people's culture. Where you get around, you like very much like you want to get an outside body experience and whatnot. Step outside of yourself and go hang out with people's families and whatnot. Just honestly, just literally get outside, make them friends, get around people's families. You'll hear it, you'll see it, you'll feel it. It's like anti-black. Well, honestly, this is just an obvious fact. Anti-blackness is so deeply rooted in this country and in other people outside of this country's culture. Anti-blackness and anti-dark skin, very colorism, anti-dark colorism, rooted in so much. Where it's like it's like it really is like Acacia said. Like it's like it is intentional. And
also colonialism.
See,
I feel like it's heavy on the anti-dark skin too, though.
3.2.
Because I mean, I've met
3.2.
I've been friends with plenty of Puerto Rican people with the racist grandmas. 100%.
Yeah, be like, hey negrito, hey negrita, hey moreno. Like, hey. Alright, ma.
People look the same skin
Marcus,
color.
pass the next one.
Same skin color as me. Dominicans. Same skin color as me. Oh, I'm not black. Yes,
Say, all right,
you
then
are.
stop saying nigga. Then
Right.
mad at you.
Now they're offended because we asked you not to use a word that does not apply to your race.
Exactly.
Like, you're not black, then stop saying nigga.
And then they're like, oh, but I grew up in so and so, and
That does
I'm
not-
basically like
But you're
Afro
not
Latino, or I'm basically the darkest person in my
But you
family.
just said you're not black.
You said you're not So
whatever.
if 2 + 2 = 4.
Stop saying.
What the fuck is this?
2 + 2 = 4. Wait.
114% daily sugar value.
Only 14?
Only.
Oh, I didn't hear the 100. I was like, really?
I'm burping too. I'm getting bloated too. Who said it was bloated?
I did.
I
I stopped drinking stuff.
Wait, it's this one and then one more, or is this it?
No, there's one more.
Okay, bad. All right, we got this. All right, team, we got this.
But
I'm feeling good. I just had to pee.
Like I said, though, I also feel weird when it's the other way around, where you make an effort to be a part of a very specific group of people that is not you. Like I said, that one white guy who will only hang around black people. It's just kind of like one of those things, like, what are you trying to prove?
Right.
Because I feel like they're heavily trying to prove something, because they would, like I said, only hang around black people.
Thank you.
They are also coincidentally like super into rap. They would know every rap song bar for bar. They would dress a certain kind of way. It's like, and it's just kind of like, bro,
Ew.
You grew up in the
let's do this.
suburbs.
Woo!
What's happening?
Ew, that is sour. Wow. Oh, that's sour.
Whoa. 6.1. 6.1.
That is sour. My mouth is watering.
6.1. 6.1.
Wow. You want to have a little tiny bit?
Oh.
Yeah, you don't. It's giving sugar.
It's sour.
Yeah,
My
I'd
God.
give it a 6.
Yeah. I'm with that.
Yeah, but I also have my own like personal opinions when it comes to
Ooh, I give it a 3. Oh shit.
when I want to say any person whose family originated from Asia and they come in and they only seem to make an effort towards white people. I have my own opinions on that as
I think it's
well.
because of the model minority myth. Like I just learned about that a few years ago. I did not know that was a thing. And also going back to that one dude who only makes an effort to, I guess, befriend black people.
They have no white friends. They are white
Yes.
themselves and have no white friends.
It's people like that who, when the tides turn, the turntables, and things get rough, and all your black friends are suddenly
That's the next one.
friends are suddenly persecuted for something minor or for a crime they did not commit, or just persecuted daily because we're black. They will not stick up for us.
And
I'm not-
finally, Joe T. Peach half and half with 120% daily sugar value.
In terms of Asian folk, I feel like Asia is a massive fucking continent, but I feel like mainly East Asians, because East Asians are seen as the quote unquote model minority, meaning that they're the ones who are perceived as smart, they're the ones who are perceived as successfill. Being white is like, if that's the closest in proximity they're going to get to being like the ultimate race. I'm using my middle, like I'm not.
But I want
to use my middle finger.
I want to say it's more than just East Asians that do that though, which is why I'm like,
Yeah, that's
I
like
don't
an
think I've
obvious
ever-
historic. Yeah.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen a South or Central Asian person say like, "Oh, I want you to marry a white person," or "Oh, I want you to befriend a white person." It's always, "I want you to keep the culture pure."
I disagree with that.
Really?
I've seen people make an active effort towards white people, or it would be like, I would prefer that you marry within our race. However, if you are going to marry outside of it, it has to be a white person.
I honestly don't think I've witnessed the latter. Truly, I'm being so serious.
Okay.
I was gonna say something really quick. In Cassandra's defense, Cassandra did not go to Rutgers. I'll say this, like, like in Cassandra's defense, Cassandra did not go to Rutgers. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that, like, me, like the three of us, we went to Rutgers. You really see. I'm not just everybody hates black people. I could say that. I really could say that. I could say that. I could make a very good argument. I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna be 9 o'clock. I'm not gonna do an argument for everyone hates black people. What I will say is that, like, we went to Rutgers. You can obviously see in physical history. Just look outside, and it's like, it's not my place to spill the Asian tea. What I will spill from, like, friends giving me this tea and people telling me that, what I will spill is that, it is not a myth that a lot of Asian. I don't want to say a lot of people. I'll say that there are Asian people that very much prefer white people and whatnot, just like other non-white people and whatnot prefer white people so that they can be the model minority and stick to the power in, well, for example, the cultural power, for example, in this country more specifically. Like a lot of people, especially in a good amount of there are Asian folk that the blackies they don't fuck with, but they fuck with the white peoples and whatnot. And that is why, for example, you can go to a school like Rutgers and you can very much see it being like a very obvious thing. Thus, I think it's the Oxford study stereotype where it's the Asian girlfriend and the regular white boyfriend and whatnot, or I guess the reverse where it's the Asian boyfriend and the white girlfriend. Maybe I don't know this time third and whatnot. I'm not trying to generalize too much, but I am trying to say that, like, it is a physical obvious thing that you can just see. Like, a lot of a good amount of Asian folks that you can see. I'm not trying to say anything racist. I'm trying to, like, speak from, like, I went to Rutgers, I see it and whatnot. A lot of them love up on the white folk and whatnot. And I will say this: there are the coon nigga Rutgers that was loving white folk and whatnot too. But they're that's their own battle and whatnot. We don't claim them. But it's very evident. It's very, very evident.
Nothing breaks my heart more than a coon. Like, oh my gosh.
Did I pour everyone for the peach tea?
Yes.
Okay.
I give it probably a 7. I can't really differentiate between this and then the regular peach tea.
Oh wow. Okay. I like peach juice. So let me see if I'm gonna fuck with it.
Well, actually, no. This one is slightly less sweet. I still give it a 7 because it's way too sweet, and I'm just not a big peach fan.
I give this a 6.2 because I could like I could honestly I think this would be a really good one at a party because it's like it's not that I don't think it's that strong. I think this one what's called the peach tea and lemonade half and half. I think this one has a very weak taste, and that's a good thing for when you want to be palatable at a party.
Some of these would make good mixers.
I give it an 8.5. It would be better if it wasn't so sugary.
I feel like if y'all was drunk, y'all would fuck these up at a party. Like every one of these, y'all would fuck these up. Maybe not the unsweetened black. Well, I mean, Casey says she liked that one.
I do like the unsweetened black tea. I feel like it tastes very refreshing.
I didn't hate it.
Like if you're not in the mood for water.
Oh,
But I have a question. How many servings is one bottle? Because it cannot.
let's see.
It cannot be one serving.
See, I be drinking these whole. I gotta stop
One
doing that.
serving.
Really?
Serving size
Wait,
one.
the whole
Oh
bottle is
my
one serving?
god!
Wait, but if you drink the whole bottle, you have more than your sugar in the day.
Yes.
Yep.
That's insane.
So that
That's why I was asking.
That
That's
doesn't make
crazy.
any sense. That's interesting. It's like this is literally one like you can just drink this but like if you drink all of it, that's your sugar for the day. Relatively.
Right. Because some boxes of candy it'll say like, 3.5 servings in one box. That's why I'm like 136% of your daily sugar intake, but you can you're allowed to drink this whole thing in one sitting. Okay.
Honestly,
I'm old. I would
my
water
bad.
that shit down. Sorry.
No, you're good. My bad. I was gonna say what's it called? Honestly, I was gonna say I was gonna say I could go first, but I was wondering if anyone has like since we're on that question about the whole like racial group, ethnic group, and whatnot for friendship, dating, this, and third. Does anyone have any like hopes and goals for like I guess the future of that? I would just say that what's it called? My grandma like she'll always comment on all of us, and she'll say like oh Rakeem, well she'll say Rock, like she'll be like oh it's like what's it called? She'll say like it's model United Nations around you about me whatnot. Like she'll say like oh that like she'll make the whole thing like oh I hang out with I guess like every color and whatnot, and I'm like she'll make that joke and whatnot because like when we all get together it'd be relatively every color, even though I do try to make like a somewhat active like a passive active because I got time is money right now, I gotta get my money up, but I do be trying to do the whole like I would not say all my friends are black. I love black people very much and whatnot. I always prefer to make a black friend this and the third because I would think that we're gonna give gay, we're gonna give girl, we're gonna give gab this and the third. But I will say and whatnot like I feel like I feel confident in my potential that I'm like I can like potential that I could befriend anyone for me I could befriend anyone regardless of their color, at least for me. Now if we become friends. Friendship is a two-way thing and whatnot. Like, it's not just on you. Like, Marcus could say, like, oh, I think I could befriend any, like, queer person, for example, and whatnot. That doesn't mean he's going to go befriend every single queer person out there. He might not, like, one might be bitchy, one might be, like, a pervert, this, that, and third, and whatnot. Like, I'm just using quick examples. But, yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like, I feel like I could befriend anybody for any color and whatnot. It doesn't always give that because, some hoes, some hoes don't want the black friends. Some hoes, there's pros,
I'm
cons,
the same way. I'm mad extroverted. I always say, I feel like I can get along with virtually anybody. It like, every person is different.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the end goal to have as wide of a variety of friends as possible.
Community.
Yeah, 100%. And I also think that it's weird when you don't have a wide variety of friends. I feel like if it's one of those situations where you only befriend people who look just like you, then that's like I said, I feel like you have a negative stereotype towards other people. I feel like
I don't really think you have a negative stereotype. I really think
if you're
just really not putting the effort in.
Yeah, you're not putting the effort in to befriend anybody outside of your race.
Okay.
Especially think about like college. Like you're at this school for 4 years. You mean to tell me that you don't have any like you have all the same color friends? Like you never like I don't know. You never gravitate towards one person that happened to be like a brown girl and y'all became besties. Like it always gave like. It never. That always just seems weird to me. It's like what do you mean? Like it's like you spend so much time in this environment, especially college. You spend so much time in this environment, and you don't just like you never made a black friend. Like I'm like, nah, that's definitely weird. Like there's so many like. Literally, every single one of our racial and ethnic groups, none of us are monolithic. There's so much difference and so much different scenes and so many subcultures where it's like you can really meet anybody.
Exactly.
So it's like,
what's the hold up?
Yeah.
Like how does your friend group work to where nobody has ever brought in a person of color,
right?
Or if you're like say all South Asian, where nobody's ever brought in a white person or an East Asian person or a black person, it's like one of those things. Like, what happened to where this is on like it's all like a monolith? But
like y'all never dated black? That's weird to me.
In terms of
weird to me.
And in terms of dating, I do understand that that's a little bit different, especially since people are heavy on we got to keep our culture strong. We can't have it diluted by bringing in XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that a lot, where your parents would be like, "Please bring home somebody who is essentially within your race and ethnic background because we want to keep that culture pure." Like, which you hear that sounds weird, though, right?
It's like,
you hear how that sounds weird, but at the same time, so many parents of so many different races and backgrounds push that heavy because they're so afraid that their culture is going to like essentially
disillusioned.
They are afraid it's going to get like wiped off the face of the earth, and like nobody's ever going to know what like for instance Indian culture is ever again.
But no, you're right. See, my thing is, I'm like, I'm all about black love, but if anything, just bring somebody of color home. But also bring somebody that's down with your culture. Like, it's one thing when you like, you get that partner that's in your culture. You get someone that's like, not the same color, not the same creed as you. You want to get somebody that's like, very enthusiastic about keeping your and their culture alive and whatnot. Like, when you literally like the whole thing about like, this country being a melting pot is that it's a melting pot. You gotta like keep it together. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, so when it comes to making friends and even establishing romantic relationships outside of your own race, people need to not be so closed off in order to avoid offending people. Yes, the world is small, but the world is so big. There are almost 9 billion people on this planet.
And growing.
Yes, which but
stop having kids.
I know. Stop having children.
Adopt.
But the fact that you're so terrified of making friends outside your race, because this is something I've seen on the internet, and also just being around people like at my school, because my school was so isolated. Like, well, I don't want to offend anybody. If you don't know something.
Now I'm curious to see what your opinions are on things to where you think that it would offend somebody.
Right, exactly.
I very much want to be friends with
you
you just to hear your perspective.
The fact that was the first thing you jumped to, that's a little worrisome. But if you don't, that also goes back into putting the effort in. If you are so terrified of trying new things or trying to expand your horizons, experience something different, you really should. People need to become more educated on the fact that you're not the only Well, I feel like just Americans, period, but. Mainly white Americans, but and again, that also goes back to this country is so massive. You really need to broaden your horizons, experience different things, because it will do you so much better in the long term. Even romantic relationships, like yes, your family, your immediate family, your relatives, they may want you to preserve your culture, but there truly is, in my opinion, nothing wrong with experimenting. Is not the right word, because experimenting has this.
The scientific connotation.
Yeah, it has this kind of picky connotation, like, oh, I'm experimenting to see if I can breed with this person. Like that sounds gross. Yeah, that sounds nasty. That's giving fetish.
Go outside, babe.
I don't want to use the word experiment, but it's okay to make an effort to like put yourself outside of your comfort zone. Yeah.
And see if that's and to see if that's what clicks for you in a non-fetishizing way.
Yes,
heavy on that,
because some of y'all have jungle fever real bad. Want some mixed race ass babies. Oh.
That's
kind of a whole other can of worms. Like
that's very much. It's like it's one of those. I feel like if you just so happen to like get with somebody who's not your race or ethnic background, then fine. But for you to like intentionally be pining after people just so you can have mixed race kids, I'm like, y'all are nasty as fuck for that.
Weirdos.
Like I said, in terms of dating, especially with like how a lot of the generations have been up until now, I understand if you are weary to bring somebody home who's not within your race, because you know damn well that your parents are going to have a whole ass fit over it, which is not okay. But at the same time, I understand the hesitation, especially since people, depending on the culture, will rely on their folks heavy for survival.
Yes.
So to that, I personally, this might be an unpopular opinion. I'll give people a pass on when it comes to the dating scene. But however, when it comes to friendships, that's where it's like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
You know,
especially when making a new friend,
These aren't people that you're going to be procreating with or
Exactly.
anything like
You're
that.
not going to be living with this person
Right.
for the rest of your life. This is someone you've never seen, you've never met, someone you are getting to know them at the very surface level. You're not immediately taking a deep dive into the core of their being.
Mm-hmm.
It's just introduction, just hello, hi, how are you? How do you pronounce your name?
A sharing and intermingling of cultures to where you can expand your own palette of the world.
That was very well said.
So I feel like, yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, if you don't have like a variety of friends from different backgrounds and different cultures, then you're essentially just going to be left in ignorance for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Ouch.
I agree. Oh, that was so well said.
That was very well said.
Thank you.
What are we rating? I want to like. What are we? Let's like all like overall. What like? Give me a number for how you feel about Dave's hot chicken. Like overall, like the restaurant. Like what we yeah.
I give it like a 7.
7 out of 10.
I think I give it an 8.
8 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
I could give Dave's overall. I could give it a 7.3 out of 10. 7.3 out of 10.
Little green yellow.
What'd you say?
I said a little green yellow.
That part, yeah, that part. About now. Let me. I'll just start. Here we go. All right, so we drank all 12 of the official Joe's teas. What are we giving? Them overall, like their brand, like all of it, like from drinking all that. What do we give it all?
6.5. Y'all need to relax with this damn sugar.
I give them a 9. I think that the flavors tasted really good.
They were, but at the end, my head is throbbing. You guys have way too much sugar.
We're in America. What do you expect?
You guys have way too much sugar.
Maybe we should cool it on the sugar though.
Some of these flavors are great, but some of them are so just artificial tasting. Like you need relax.
We're fat.
One part of me wonders. I wonder how much of this is natural sugars and how much of this is non-natural sugars.
Can I see the ingredients on one of them?
Yeah, let's do
Science.
Sweet tea.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Because my thing is, I'm like, what if this was like when they say added sugar? Did you add in like a natural sugar or like
I doubt it.
They say it just says cane sugar, so cane sugar in this case is natural, but it's just such an excessive amount. Like you don't have to add how much?
They don't have like the high
128.
fructose corn syrup or
No,
nothing
it's
like
literally
that
just
in
cane
there?
sugar on there.
Oh yeah,
Good
Whole
for
Foods
them.
doesn't sell anything with high fructose corn syrup.
Oh,
Whole Foods is like brand is that like everything in there is healthy, but it's like everything is
128% of your daily sugar intake is not healthy.
Yeah, that's not healthy. Like you should.
But
Healthy with an asterisk next
Yeah.
to it.
yes.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is better than drinking the stuff at ShopRite and Walmart. But it's still
Right.
like, maybe you shouldn't drink one of these in one sitting. 'Cause
Exactly.
this is a lot of sugar.
Again, that's why I asked. So one of these is a whole serving. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'll give it
fine.
to you, Whole Foods. No high fructose corn syrup is pretty good, but over 100% of your daily sugar intake is bonkers. It's wild.
Yeah.
Relax, okay?
What was your
Rant
rating overall
over.
for Joe's Teas?
Well, I give Joe's Tea a 7.5 out of 10. They got a nice range of flavors. Some of them are better than others. The two half and halves, I preferred the peach half and half. Didn't really care for either of the lemonades, but especially not the pink lemonade.
I love the lemon.
That pink lemonade
Some
is
of-
sour.
Some of these really do need to dial. Some of them. A lot of these really do need to
Yeah.
dial back the sugar. I don't need to put that
Jesus
much sugar in one of
Christ
these
on a
bottles
cracker.
of teas or lemonades.
No, I agree, and honestly, like I feel like we could be much stricter because of the like the sugar is the one thing that's like frying me. Where I was gonna give Joe's overall because like this is my first time having all 12. I only drink a couple of these on. Like my favorites are peach, green, raspberry, and sweet. But I will say that I was gonna give it an 8.1 out of 10. But from trying all 12, I'll give it a 7.9 out of 10. I'm docking points because of all the added sugar, and I'm docking points because I'm not a big fan of the half and halves. I think I'm a very not big fan of the half and halves. I'm not a big fan of the unsweetened black. The standard green tea, I'm cool with. Like if someone got that for me, I would I wouldn't like hate drinking that on a long car ride to like New Brunswick or something. Like that would get me through it because like I'll drink like a Joe's green tea or a sweet tea or a raspberry or a peach for like that drive to New Brunswick because it's like I'm about to drive for an hour. This is gonna last me for all the hour, if not a little over, because I'm not like guzzling it down, but it's gonna keep me occupied. The sugar is giving this and the third.
Yeah.
But I'll give them a 7.9. I do agree they should dial back the sugar. But if you could keep shit sweet, but just dial back all the sugar, if you want to make it so that everything is like 100% of your sugar intake for a day, that's one thing. But a lot of them being over 100% of your sugar intake in a day is, I feel, greasy because you're talking about this is like this whole bottle is one serving, but this is gonna be too much sugar that I don't need to be drinking. So I'm not gonna. It's like don't drink all this in one day.
It's very easy to overconsume. That's dangerous.
Yeah,
I feel like the only reason why I'm giving it a 9, maybe an 8.5 at
they
least.
are good. They are good.
Is that
They are
they
very
taste
tasty.
good. Obviously, the sugar is a bit much for one sitting.
Yeah,
But like
Most
whether
of
or
it
not
over
you decide
100.
to make that one sitting, that's up to you.
yeah.
So 8.59 because at the end of the day, the flavors are all generally pretty good if you like take into consideration all of them.
What I say,
Yeah.
And in
6.5?
my opinion, I like the black tea, and that's the one with no sugar in it. So
I liked it too.
I found it to be refreshing
I did not.
personally. If you don't want to drink water, but you want to drink something that's not sugary,
And
I would
not
pick that
water,
up.
and
Yeah.
not water.
Yeah.
That's
Can
a
you
good
hand me
one.
another bottle of tea? I just want to read the. Hand me that one, please.
Mhm.
Curious.
Yeah,
What's this one?
like I love their branding. I think that's really cute. I'm very much like I'm at a point where I've been buying them, and I'm like,
The
I'm not
bottles
gonna.
are really cute.
Yeah, like I'm
Mhm.
not gonna drink the whole bottle, but I'll split it and share it with my grandma. Or it's like I'm gonna put them in the fridge and just pour some in a cup and drink it like that. But like, you definitely don't need to you don't need to drink this whole bottle with your lunch or your dinner.
I will literally pour maybe half of this into a glass, and then
It's
fill
nice.
the rest with water.
Oh,
Wait. Oh, you would water
Oh,
it
water
down?
down.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It's
I don't hate that.
so
I don't hate that.
it's like not crazy amount, just enough.
Okay.
I don't hate that because a lot of most of them are more sugar than you need in a day. So I don't hate
Yes.
watering it down.
Exactly. Also, sometimes maybe it's me. Sometimes when you're dehydrated or kind of just bored, water is not hitting. This, like, it's a liquid, yeah, but sometimes you need something besides water. This has so much sugar in it, especially if you're dehydrated, you need to replace your electrolytes. This can work like in a pinch, like if you're desperate for real. Let's see, lemon juice from concentrate. That's why it's so bold. It's concentrate. Natural tea, peach and lemon flavors, and ester gum. I don't know what the fuck. I think ester gum is a type of sweetener. And then peach and lemon flavors. The hell is that? It's just like it's great, but like, sheesh.
See,
Y'all
I
are
said
killing
pointing
us.
out the sugar content was important.
Yeah, you're right. It gave us more context to like have like a fair rating and whatnot. But
And I literally said, "Why are you reading it? We don't give a shit." Like, no, we give a shit.
Yeah.
I take that
I'll
back.
for
Right,
that.
once again,
And I will say every single bottle is $2.79. How do we feel about the pricing?
I think
The
it's good
pricing-
$2?
$2.79.
$2.79?
The
For
pricing-
a glass bottle with that much in it?
Mm-hmm. How many fluid ounces is that?
It's 1.25 pints, so it's 20 fluid ounces.
Okay. I think it's a very good deal. Again, super easy to overconsume, in my opinion. To just get a couple bottles if you're bored or you're
About
driving.
12.
If you're driving somewhere and you down a whole bottle, like boom, there's more than your daily sugar intake. You down another bottle, boom, like
You're gonna get where you need to be though.
You know what?
When you down one of these, you're gonna stay awake. This sugar is gonna keep you up.
you know what? This is something that you might give a type 1 diabetic person if their blood sugar is crashing.
You're right. They take a shot of this. It's like,
Yeah. Or just someone with diabetes in general, or who has like pancreas issues. Or just in general, if someone's blood sugar is going low, give them a shot of this.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna what's it called? Yeah. Okay. Anyone who is watching, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Any of the other broskies that see this, please share this with any of your friends. Thank you very much. I think right now we're at 233 or 234 subs. Thank you very much. Hope we hope we keep it going and whatnot.
You need to break these videos down so I can post them on my Instagram.
that part. But what's it called? Now
see, when I do it though, it's wrong.
Bye. But thank you so much for watching. We're gonna run thumbnails. Do any of the three of you have anything quick to say?
one thing about the price. I mean, $2.50 is not that bad. You said it was $2.50, right?
No, $2.79.
Oh, $2.79 is not that bad, but it can and should be lower.
I think
Things
part
are
of it
too
is because of the
expensive.
bottles.
I agree, and also I think the name has something to do with the fact that it's from Whole Foods.
I mean,
In my opinion,
they sell this stuff at other places.
They sell this at Wegmans too.
Yeah.
But like I only get from Whole Foods because of the discount.
I think it's because of the bottles, though. I honestly think that's what's jacking up the price.
Yeah, they are really cute, but I would be afraid to drop. Actually, no, I have dropped one before at home, and I've been like, fuck, I gotta quit. Like with glass, we gotta get everywhere. Everyone put socks on, put your slippers on. No cuts.
I have one thing to say. Remember, people, it's rich against the poor. not us against each other. It's rich against the poor, and I am waiting for that headline. If you know, you know.
Someone has to do it, please.
Yes, they
Someone
have
has
to be. It has to be. It has to.
My hand's orange.
I'm light enough. It has to be someone of this color.
Damn,
If
y'all
you-
different. My hand's orange. I'm
They
done.
have to pass the paper bag test. Let's say that.
That part.
I have no comment.
Thank you for watching. We're gonna do thumbnails and take pics and then go to Walmart. Bye. Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Have a bit of a time.